Anyway, I wanted to film a video today about scripture and tradition. Why do we have scripture and tradition? Isn't scripture just good enough? What do we need tradition for? That's what I'm going to answer in this video, so please stick around. Hello everyone. So forgive me if there's a little bit of a noise because I'm sitting by this wonderful furnace thing here, like our fake fireplace, because I'm cold, because it's cold in Montana. I have a question for you. Let's imagine that it's the year like 34 AD. And let's just say that it was actually 33 AD that Christ suffered, died, and rose from the dead. Okay, I know it might not have exactly been 33 AD, but you know, we're just gonna go with it for this video. So it's 34 AD, a year after Jesus Christ suffered, died, and rose from the dead, and conquered sin and death. Is there a church? Is there like a Christian church? Probably. Are there valid baptisms? I would say so. The apostles baptized lots of people, so the scriptures tell us. Wait a second. Was the New Testament written? No. So, we had a valid church, valid baptism, valid sacraments before the New Testament was written. This is really important because the New Testament was written and completed, some scholars debate this, that the New Testament was written anywhere from 10 to 60 years after the death of Jesus. 60 years, there's a lot of time in there. So if we couldn't have Bible alone because there was no scriptures, what did we do? Were there valid sacraments? Was there 60 years where no one could be like baptized because there was no book, there was no New Testament? I don't think so. That isn't quite how it works, is it? The scripture and tradition go together because it was from tradition that scripture got written. And it's always been that way. Like the Bible was put together by the early church. The early church collected the writings of the Gospels, the four Gospels, as well as other Gospels who aren't really Gospels. And they determined Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John were the four Gospels. And they also figured out what letters to put in. That was all decided pretty early on in the church, like well before the 200s. I think, if I'm remembering right, it was the Council of Carthage. I can't remember the year. I think it was the 200s, 100s, 200s, Council of Carthage. They had the canon ready. The whole canon of scripture, the Catholic Bibles, that is. In the Protestant Reformation, they took out a lot of books because they're like, we don't think they're real. Well, the early church believed in them. So anyway, scripture and tradition, you kind of need both. Because without tradition, we wouldn't even have the scriptures. The scriptures were written like as letters, like from the apostles to people that they were teaching. And they were teaching without a Bible. Think of that for a minute. Everybody who says that we're on Bible-based, Bible alone, they were teaching without a Bible. There was no like predetermined set of what's in the Bible until the 200s. The Bible wasn't finished being written until almost 60 years after the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ. So for 60 years, people had to rely on something that wasn't the New Testament. What were they relying on? They were relying on tradition. So, I really think that scripture and tradition both belong together, and they are very important. So you need scripture and tradition. Tradition gives us scripture. See you all next time.